Okay, well, this is going to be the first video of my brand new YouTube channel, and I am going to start having my own channel dedicated to movie reviews, and I thought there was no better way to start with probably the first big blockbuster of 2018, and that is the MCU's Marvel Studios Black Panther. This was a movie that was extremely hyped coming in. It had some of the biggest pre-ticket buying in all of the Marvel Studios movies so far in the MCU. It's placed in the middle of Black History Month for a movie that does a very good job of representing the African American, even just the Black community as a whole. I'm not an African, I'm not African American. I'm not Black. I can't speak for that whole community, but I feel watching this movie that you know I can only imagine how powerful and how strong this movie is going to be for that audience and that community to see something so well done. So, first off, let's start off with some opening thoughts. I really liked this movie. I thought that it did a really good job of taking away some of the action that we see to kind of really talk about social issues in a very quiet way, but in a powerful way for me. And I really felt that it did a very good job in the movie of hitting things it wanted to do. There were some things that I didn't find great, and some things I thought could be improved upon per se. But I generally thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and that's what we'll go over during the review. It's something I'd recommend off the bat. Um, I am happy with everything that happened. I like the post-credit scenes. Um, if you don't want to, if you just want to go off of, hey, it's a recommendation, I don't want to know more, feel free to leave, come back later. No problems at all. I may do things that might be considered spoilers later in the review. I don't think I'm doing anything that's a big spoiler overall, but I will gonna go into more depth on why I enjoyed this movie so much and what I really took away from it and what was really good. So here, the next part, the opening of the movie. One thing I felt Marvel has done such a good job of in the past 2 or 3 years is their opening for movies have just been really different and really strong. The opening of this movie sets the tone, and it really helps you understand what the actual conflict and the plot is going to be building during this. And I reminisce it a lot to how Guardians of the Galaxy, how that movie opened up. I don't want to go into details because I think it's something that is spoiling the movie when you talk about what happened in the opening of the movie and how it affects the movie. 100% is a spoiler because it's something you don't see in the trailers. And it's a really powerful, powerful thing to come back. But I love the way it opened. It set a tone for this movie that this was not just an action movie. This was not just a cool, flashy comic book movie. That this is going to be something different and have more depth than that. So the cast was loaded. Chadwick Boseman has proven himself on too many occasions that he is a fantastic actor, and he does a great job playing the Black Panther in this movie, playing King T'Challa. I might be butchering that name. I apologize if I am, but he was a solid person in this movie. He is so well to be soft spoken yet be so impactful as King, as with that. Um, I liked him in this movie. I loved him in Civil War. I think the MCU and Marvel hit the mother load when they hired this actor to be Black Panther. But in my personal opinion, he was 100% overshadowed by the sister he had in the movie, and I'm trying to pull her name up. Shuri, who is played by Letitia Wright, and that was his younger sister. And I thought she was, for me, she was the star of the movie. I loved her interactions with T'Challa, her brother, her interactions with her mom. Martin Freeman's character, like you saw in the trailer, he gets some interaction with her. I loved her in this movie, and I can't wait to see how she's included going forward in the MCU because there's too much in this movie that makes me be like, okay, yes, he's the king, he's the main star, but there's way too much with Wakanda and everything that says no. There's gonna be more, and I think for her, she was Letitia Wright, man. She was a rock star in this movie. Jokes were on point. Her acting and emotional scenes was on point. I thought she carried the film from a supporting role, and that's one thing that these comic book movies, what Marvel does well, is all these supporting characters are strong characters throughout all the MCU movies. And I really felt Letitia Wright as Shuri, T'Challa's sister, kicked ass in that role. I loved her in this role. Definitely my standout performance in the movie. Other people, Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger. I like the character. I wish they could have done a little bit more with it. It was really when you watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean when you say you can see where the character's going. I think he did a fine job. Um, I just felt that he was really one dimensional in some ways. And I felt that his character really deserved a more two dimensional style arc. Uh, but he was awesome in the cast. Lupita Nyong'o as the Nakayo, kind of, Chadwick Boseman's character and T'Challa's conscious in some ways. Very good in the role. Um, Danielle Guerrero was a standout as Okoye, the I don't even know how to pronounce it, but the all woman security, basically the Wakandan Knights. She was by far an amazing person and one of the most powerful characters in the MCU has had. She's vicious, but you could also see there's a lot more going on with her, and honor is a very big thing, and her role and what she does is a very big thing, and she really displayed what that was about in this movie. As far as other people, Forrest Whitaker, I didn't know he was in the movie. He made a surprise, powerful performance for me. Small, again, what Marvel does well is they take all those small supportive roles, even if they're not on camera a whole lot. They do the job they need to, and they really make it important for their movies. You have Andy Serkis as Claw, as you saw in the trailers. He did a really great job. I really liked him in this movie. It's nice to see him out of the CGI world, though. My gosh, the one thing they never did with him was that they gave his eyes to Smeagol, and every time I looked in his eyes, I was waiting for him just to be like, "My precious." But he did a good job in this movie. I thought Martin Freeman, that you saw in the trailer, he's probably more in the movie than you would have thought. I liked him a lot. I thought his character had a good arc going through. And the other standout character that you won't see really too much in there is Winston Duke. And he was the head of one of the tribes that make up Wakanda. And he played a very, I thought, good role in this. And I liked what he brought to the movie. It was a great cast. As for the plot of the movie, it was pretty straightforward. Um, it ran into some things that you might see in other Marvel plots. It moves quickly. Things just happen because the script says it has to happen. Um, but I liked the plot because I really liked what the plot was going for at the end of the movie and what the message it sent. And I am all about the message it sent in the movie. And the plot did a very good job at illustrating that. And I think when you look back and you're like the more I'm going to think about this movie, the more positive I get. Because I think when I was watching, I was like, I don't like the way this is going in some areas. And then like they had what I felt the perfect like way to express like, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't like what's going on. We're all uncomfortable in this position, and we're uncomfortable for the correct reason. Uh, what this movie's going to mean, um, I'm not of the African American community, but this did such a good job of celebrating not just black actors who do an amazing job, but just almost Africa as a as a whole. You know, a lot of people still view that as a part of the world that is secluded because they're maybe not as rich and as built up as other nations, but the people represented in their what they value are very very important and very strong, and it's not the outside that matters. It's what everybody is on the inside, and I'm hoping this like the message in this movie at the very end correlates with more than just people aren't going to try making this a political movie because it's an all black almost an all black cast, and it's a very targeted towards a certain demographic, because I thought this movie had a great message in the end, and I think this movie, if openly minded watched, can be celebrated just for what it is. And I think it's going to be a very powerful movie going forward. I can see this being a step, a kind of monument style. I don't know what the word to say. Like, I don't want to say stepping stone because I don't think black actors, and I don't think that they needed, like, it's not a stepping stone for them because they've proven themselves many, many times in the movie world. But this is something I think that, the African American community is going to look at, and they're going to be like, yeah, that was us. And I think they have every right to do that. And I think this movie is something that everybody in the world should be proud of. Not just one race, not just one group of individuals. I think everybody should be proud of what this movie does. And I'm hoping maybe something like this can really start bringing people together and really, letting go and of the past and realizing that we're all just human beings that want what's best for each other, and that violence is not going to ever be the right answer in a lot of cases. Now, my favorite parts of the movie, for sure, was almost every scene that Shiri, the princess, was in. She, like I said, she stole all the scenes. She had all the best lines. She was just always had like a smile on her face, and when she didn't have a smile on your face, it made you not have a smile on your face. Um, Everything in Korea was really cool. I liked the Korean part in this movie when they're in Korea, as well as I thought the ending of the movie was strong. I also really liked the post-credit scenes. I think it was powerful. I kind of wonder why one had to be the post-credit scene and one wasn't just the end of the movie, but Marvel knows that everybody watches the post-credit scenes anyway, so it's kind of knew that was gonna be the end of the movie. But my favorite parts was when this movie kind of just slowed down and it really showed and what depth the movie had in the meaning of the movie and what it was important for the movie. Now, where it ranks for the MCU, I would probably put this in the top 10. I'm still biased. My number one movie in the MCU was, to this day, is still the original Guardians of the Galaxy. I loved the first Guardians movie. I thought it was strong. I think it was just pure entertainment out of nowhere, and I have a bias towards that. I would put this in a similar level as I would put maybe Spider-Man Homecoming, probably in the 6 to 8 ranking. I might do my own ranking thing now that I have a YouTube channel that I'm going to dedicate to movies, and obviously we have Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up, which I thought was a fun trailer that I've seen. I've seen it recently, but it was cool seeing it on the big screen. We have, Infinity War coming, which, Wakanda is going to play a very big part on that based on the trailer. and I will probably rank them more or less in terms, but I would put it in like just out of the top five. Very good movie. It's getting tough with these movies because now they're just coming out in like quality, 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 quality. But I liked it a lot. Uh, which is why my overall score is an 8.5 out of 10. I couldn't go any higher. I thought the visual effects in the movie was kind of meh. Like a lot of the things, I was like, ooh, that's not great CGI. Like that is, I thought it was really slow in the beginning in some areas, and that we spent a lot of time doing something when we knew the conflict was, the real conflict was coming up later. When we got to the real conflict, I hated how just one dimensional it was. It should have been two-dimensional. And that is why I kind of give it a lower score. I thought I liked it a lot. Um, I thought it was deserving of the praise it's getting with critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it might be overrated by some people, but that's okay because it's all about enjoying a movie and everybody has their own opinions. And if you're out there and you want to give this movie a 10 out of 10 because it hit everything you wanted to, that's awesome. That's your opinion, and you have every right to have that opinion. I like this movie a lot. It's one I'm probably going to go see one or two more times during February, even probably this weekend. I really enjoyed it. It had a great message, and I can't say anything besides than wow. We are just I'm just in amazement on how well how well Marvel Studios is able to write and plan out and put out these movies, and for them to feel more than just episodes, to make them feel important and to really have positive and more messaging than just a basic action movie. And that's really why I think they're able to keep this continuing, because an 8.5 for a comic book movie is amazing. I'm a tough critic. If you're getting anything above a 9 or a 10, I feel you're a top movie of a year, um, top movies of all time. Um, so an 8.5 out of me is a really strong rating. I'm one of the tougher people, and usually for me, if a movie's above a 7, I really, really enjoyed it. If it's getting above an 8, I think it's high quality, and I think it's a must see in theaters. And that's what I would say. This is a must see movie, and I really hope people go out there and enjoy and go out there with an open mind, because it was just a beautiful message in the movie. That was it perfect? No, but that message was more important than having a movie be perfect. So I will be back. Don't feel free to hit subscribe below. I'm just sorting this channel out. Post me and share me other places if you think I'm worthy of your friends or your family seeing me. I am probably going to be doing these weekly, bi-weekly. I have Movie Pass. I love going to the movies, so if I can get more movies on the big screen where I can review them. Oscars are coming up. I'll go over my Oscar opinions and what I think is going to win or lose. I've seen almost every Oscar contending movie. Feel free to comment below if you have any good criticisms of me, if you want to talk about the movie. I don't know. This is the first big movie I've done where I'm going to put a review out really close to its release date, so I don't know if anybody's going to pick this up, but if not, that's okay. If you want to comment and talk, I love talking movies. Everybody has their own good opinion. Nobody's wrong. And that's what makes movies special, is being able to talk and just enjoy them and just be happy we have this type of resource out there for us to go in and enjoy and just come together and be happy about. So with that ending there, I wish you all well, and I hope to see you soon.